Be prepared. On May 31st, as the sun rises and the world moves forward as if it's just another day, something deeper is unfolding. Vinayak Chaturthi isn't just a date on the calendar, it's a gateway, a sacred alignment that whispers to those ready to listen. Have you felt it? A quiet pull towards something higher, a soft but undeniable nudge calling you to remember who you really are? This isn't coincidence. This is the moment when the old you begins to dissolve, and the truest version of your soul begins to merge with the higher self that's been waiting just beyond the noise. Are you ready to step into this portal? Because the universe is opening the door, but only you can walk through. May 31st marks a sacred threshold, one that many won't recognize until they feel its quiet pull in their bones. Vinayak Chaturthi, often celebrated for the blessings of Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, carries a deeper message this year, one woven into the fabric of cosmic alignment. It's not just about seeking removal of external barriers. It's about recognizing the dissolving of inner walls, the merging of fragmented pieces of yourself into the wholeness of your higher self. Have you felt an internal shift over the past few days? A sense of being drawn into a silence, not of emptiness, but of profound presence? That's not your imagination. It's the subtle calling of this moment, a cosmic nudge asking if you're ready to step beyond the surface of life and into the core of your being. This Vinayak Chaturthi isn't about ritual alone. It's about alignment. The energy of May 31st forms a bridge, a merging point between who you've been and who you're becoming. And it's happening whether you're consciously participating or not. But when you lean in, when you acknowledge the pull, the experience shifts from something subtle to something transformative. Have you noticed how certain old patterns, thoughts, or habits have started feeling heavier, more obvious, even uncomfortable? That's not resistance, it's release. It's your system showing you what no longer fits, what can't come with you into this new frequency. Ask yourself, what parts of me feel ready to be released right now? What have I been holding on to that no longer aligns with who I'm becoming? This isn't a moment for perfection or for forcing answers. It's a moment for honesty, for presence, for recognizing that the obstacles you've been facing aren't external walls. They're the echoes of old stories, beliefs, and fears that are ready to dissolve. Vinayak Chaturthi, especially this year, serves as a cosmic mirror. It reflects not just where you are, but where you're ready to go, if you allow the shift. This isn't about waiting for a sign. It's about realizing that the sign is already here. It's in the discomfort, the yearning, the sudden moments of clarity that rise when you least expect them. Have you been sensing a deeper truth rising within you, even as the world around you seems caught in distraction? That's the signal. The alignment of May 31st doesn't shout its message. It whispers it softly, persistently, asking if you're ready to listen. This is the moment where obstacles dissolve, not because they're removed from your path, but because you no longer resonate with them. Where you don't have to force change, but simply allow it. Where the merging with your higher self isn't a distant spiritual goal, but an embodied, lived experience unfolding right now. So pause, breathe, feel the quiet power of this day. Ask yourself, am I ready to release what no longer serves, to merge with the deeper truth of who I am? Because this isn't just a day to celebrate, it's a day to align. a day to step into the version of you that's been waiting just beneath the surface, ready to rise. The merging with your higher self doesn't always feel like an earth-shattering revelation. Often, it unfolds in the quiet corners of your life, in the subtle shifts of perception, in the way you respond to the familiar and the unknown. And during this Vinayak Chaturthi, those signs might be showing up more clearly than ever, if you're paying attention. Have you found yourself suddenly craving solitude, even when the world invites you to distraction? That's not isolation. That's a deep inner pull, a magnetic nudge from your soul, asking you to step away from the noise and tune into the frequency of your own truth. Because merging with your higher self requires space, not just physical space, but mental, emotional, and energetic space. Have you noticed old triggers no longer ignite the same reaction in you? That conversation that used to spiral you into defensiveness or anxiety now feels distant, almost irrelevant. This isn't detachment, it's evolution. It's your system aligning with the higher frequency where those old patterns simply don't resonate anymore. Ask yourself, what triggers have lost their grip on me recently? What feels lighter now, as if I've stepped into a different timeline without even realizing it? This merging isn't always comfortable. In fact, it can feel disorienting, as if you're walking between two worlds. One foot in the old, one foot in the new. You might notice moments where your thoughts seem scattered, where you forget what you were doing, or where time feels elastic, stretching and contracting unpredictably. This isn't forgetfulness, it's recalibration. It's your mind and body adjusting to the new energetic wiring that comes with merging into a higher level of consciousness. Have you felt moments of inexplicable peace? A stillness that settles over you even in the midst of chaos? That's not avoidance. It's a glimpse of your higher self, reminding you that peace isn't found in the absence of challenge, but in the presence of alignment. You might also notice an increased sensitivity to energy, feeling the emotional undercurrents of conversations, sensing the unspoken intentions of those around you, or intuitively knowing what's about to unfold. This isn't paranoia or hyper-awareness. It's attunement. It's your energy field expanding to pick up the subtler frequencies that were always there but previously unnoticed. Ask yourself, am I willing to trust these subtle signals, even when they don't make logical sense? Am I ready to step into the unknown, guided not by the mind, but by the quiet knowing of the soul? The merging with your higher self isn't a single moment of enlightenment. It's a journey of surrender, of releasing the need for control and of trusting the deeper currents of life. And on this Vinayak Chaturthi, the universe is offering you a mirror, not to show you what's wrong, but to reflect what's ready to rise. So as you move through this day, notice the whispers beneath the noise, the pull towards silence, the release of old triggers, the moments of unexplainable peace. Because these aren't just random experiences, they're signs. Signs that you're already merging with the higher frequency of your soul. Pause, breathe, feel the shift. And know that this isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a deeper, more aligned expression of who you truly are. How to release old patterns, blocking your alignment. As you feel the merging with your higher self deepening, you may also feel the friction of old patterns rising to the surface. This isn't failure, it's the natural shedding process. It's your system making space, clearing out the weight that no longer resonates with the frequency you're stepping into. Have you felt waves of frustration, resistance, or even sudden sadness? These emotions aren't obstacles, they're signals. They point directly to the parts of you still holding on to outdated beliefs, fears, and habits. The universe isn't punishing you with discomfort, it's showing you what's ready to be released. Ask yourself, what old stories about myself am I still carrying? What patterns do I feel looping back into my mind, trying to pull me into the past? Releasing these patterns isn't about fighting them, it's about recognizing them, honoring the role they once played, and gently letting them go. Because the truth is, many of these patterns were survival mechanisms, ways of navigating a world that didn't always feel safe. But you're not there anymore, you're evolving. And those patterns aren't needed in this new vibration. Have you caught yourself in moments of self-sabotage, saying yes when you meant no, over-explaining yourself, or slipping back into old reactions? That's not weakness. It's the mind trying to cling to familiarity. But this Vinayak Chaturthi offers you a portal to step out of that loop, to recognize that the safety you once sought in old patterns is no longer necessary. Try this. When an old pattern arises, pause. Breathe into it. Instead of reacting, observe it. Ask yourself, is this truly me, or is this an echo of who I used to be? This practice of observation without judgment is key. It creates a space between the pattern and your reaction, a space where choice lives. And in that space, you'll discover your freedom. Have you noticed a growing clarity about what no longer serves you? That's not coincidence. That's the higher self illuminating the path forward. But to walk that path, you must be willing to leave the old weight behind. This isn't about rushing into change or forcing transformation. It's about gentle, conscious release. About recognizing the thoughts, habits, and relationships that drain your energy and softly letting them fall away. Because when you do, you create space. Space for your higher self to merge fully, for your truth to shine through without distortion. Ask yourself one final time in this moment, am I ready to release what no longer serves, even if it's uncomfortable? Am I willing to trust that what's falling away is making room for something far more aligned? Because the old patterns can't follow you into the new timeline. They're dissolving now, if you're willing to let them. While the merging with your higher self is a deeply internal process, this Vinayak Chaturthi on May 31st offers a cosmic opening that can be supported by intentional practices. These rituals aren't about adding complexity to your life. They're about creating space, about signaling to your system that you're ready to align, to release, and to rise. Have you noticed that certain practices, like sitting quietly, lighting a candle, or even taking a walk, feel more potent lately? That's not just routine, that's resonance. That's your energy tuning into the cosmic flow, finding harmony with the shifts happening above and within. Here are a few simple yet powerful ways to align with this energy. Create sacred space. Find a quiet place where you can sit without distraction. Light a candle or incense not as a formality, but as a marker, a signal to your system that this is a moment of presence. As you light the flame, set the intention: I am ready to align with my higher self. Ground with breath. Sit with your spine tall. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Repeat until you feel a shift, a quieting of the mind, a softening of the body. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I can release with this breath? Journaling, release. Take a journal or a piece of paper and, without editing or censoring, write down the patterns, thoughts, or stories that feel heavy, outdated, or limiting. Don't analyze, just let it flow. When you're done, read it aloud to yourself, honoring what you've written. Then, safely burn the paper or tear it up, symbolically releasing those patterns into the ether. Connection with Earth. Spend time in nature, if possible. Walk barefoot on grass or soil. Feel the grounding pull of the earth beneath you. Imagine roots extending from your body into the ground, anchoring you in the present moment. Ask yourself, what truth is rising from my core when I stand in stillness? Silent contemplation. Dedicate time to simply sit in silence. No music, no distractions, just you, your breath, and the space around you. Notice what arises. If discomfort or restlessness appears, welcome it. It's part of the clearing. It's part of the space being created for the higher self to step forward. These practices aren't about perfection, they're about presence. They're about signaling to yourself and the universe that you're ready to align with the deeper truth of who you are. Have you felt resistance to slowing down, to creating space for these practices? That's natural. The mind resists stillness because it fears what might surface. But ask yourself, isn't it time to stop running from what's waiting to be heard? This Vinayak Chaturthi is more than a date. It's a declaration, a portal through which you can step, not because you're chasing something outside of you, but because you're finally listening to what's been within you all along. Pause. Breathe, light a candle. Write what's in your heart. Feel the ground beneath you. And know that in these simple acts, you're aligning with a cosmic frequency that transcends the mind's noise and anchors you in the soul's truth. What to expect as you step into the next phase? As the energy of Vinayak Chaturthi washes over May 30, something begins to stir. A shift so subtle, yet so profound, that many will miss it unless they've been paying close attention. This isn't a dramatic revelation. It's a quiet realignment, a reweaving of threads between your human self and the higher consciousness that has always been within reach. Have you felt it? That gentle dissolving of old tensions, the release of a weight you didn't even know you were carrying? That's the higher self stepping forward, the merging unfolding not with a shout, but with a sigh of release. In the days and weeks following this portal, expect the world around you to feel different. Not because the external has changed, but because your perception has shifted. Conversations might feel lighter. Decisions might feel clearer. Old fears might no longer hold the same power they once did. Ask yourself, what decisions am I now seeing through a different lens? What once felt heavy now feels irrelevant. This isn't a call to action in the traditional sense. It's a call to presence. To attune yourself to the small, quiet shifts that signal you're no longer living solely from the mind, but from the integrated wisdom of your soul. You may notice people around you responding differently, some pulled closer by your calm, others distancing themselves as your energy no longer matches their old patterns. This isn't rejection, it's recalibration. It's a reflection of your shifting vibration, of your alignment with your higher self's clarity and purpose. Have you noticed how the little things, a passing thought, a song lyric, a quiet moment alone, now carry deeper meaning? That's not your imagination. It's the universe speaking through subtle signs, confirming that you're aligned with a higher timeline. Here's what you can expect as this phase unfolds. Moments of unexpected clarity. Ideas, decisions, and realizations that seem distant or impossible may suddenly become obvious, like pieces of a puzzle finally clicking into place. Emotional release. Tears, laughter, sudden waves of gratitude or grief, all part of the clearing. The space being made for new aligned energy. New opportunities, connections, conversations, or insights may appear seemingly out of nowhere, as if the universe is rearranging itself to support your growth. Resistance from old patterns. The mind might still cling to comfort zones, old stories, or familiar fears. But these will feel increasingly hollow, less convincing. Notice the contrast. A deepening sense of peace. Even amidst the external noise, you'll begin to feel a steady calm, an inner knowing that doesn't waver with circumstances. Ask yourself one final time, am I willing to trust this unfolding even when I can't see the whole path? Am I ready to step forward? Not because I have all the answers, but because I feel the truth of this new alignment in my bones, because this isn't an ending, it's a beginning. A merging with your higher self that doesn't demand perfection, but presence. Not a grand finale, but a quiet, steady rise into a version of you that's more aligned, more attuned, more free. Pause, breathe, feel the shift, and know that with each step, you're not walking alone. You're walking in resonance with the truth of who you are.